Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you are well by the grace of Allah with your friends and families. Welcome to our today's online class. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. This is Sifat Ferdousi, lecturer, Department of Biology, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Today, I will discuss about adaptation characteristics of Hydrophytes and adaptation characteristics of Halophytes and adaptation characteristics of Xerophytes from chapter 12. So, dear students, let's start our today's online class. What we will be learn from our today's lesson: adaptation characteristics and examples of Hydrophytes, Halophytes and first of all, I will tell you the definition of adaptation. The characteristics features acquired by an organism to inhabit in a particular habitat is called adaptation. The same type adaptation developed in all the members of population or community, like parenchyma is present in all floating aquatic plants. On the other hand, sclerenchyma is present in xerophytes. Environment-based classification of plant communities. Warming 99 classified plant communities into three principal groups depending upon the nature of soil and availability of water in the medium. These are hydrophytes, mesophytes and xerophytes. In the saline areas, a special type of salt-tolerant plants are found to grow, which are known as halophytes. First of all, I will describe the aquatic adaptations that is called hydrophytes. Plants growing in habitats abundance in water are known as hydrophytes. Hydrophytic plants may partially or wholly remain underwater. Example, characteristics of hydrophytes. Stems are soft, weak, narrow and with long internodes. Number 2, root system is ill developed. Generally, root and root hairs are absent or ill developed. Free floating species containing root pocket. Number 3, floating plants contain waxy covering on upper epidermis. Submerged plants have no cuticle. Number 4, stomata absent or functionless. Guard cells may be absent. Number 5, large air cavities present in the tissue of the body. Tissue absent or ill developed. That is 6 number characteristics. Number 7, vascular bundles are ill developed. Number 8, most of the plants propagate by vegetative method. Now, the types of hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are 5 types of, like number 1, free floating hydrophytes, rotate floating hydrophytes, rotate submerged hydrophytes, free submerged hydrophytes, rotate emergent hydrophytes. Free floating hydrophytes. Those hydrophytes whole body of which remain floating above the water and move with the air or water current are known as free floating hydrophytes. Examples are water hyacinth and topapana, rotate floating hydrophytes. Those hydrophytic plants whose leaves remain above the water but roots remain anchored to the soil are called rooted floating hydrophytes. Example, nymphia, etc. Rooted submerged hydrophytes. They are submerged in the water but roots are fixed. Example, free submerged hydrophytes. Those hydrophytes remain submerged underwater but not attached to the soil are known as free submerged hydrophytes. Example, Xaji, emergent hydrophytes. In this type of hydrophytic plants, the roots remain anchored to the soil underwater and their body partially or fully remain above water. Example, three types of adaptation found in hydrophytes: morphological adaptation, anatomical adaptation and physiological adaptation. Now I will describe these three types of adaptation characteristics. Morphological adaptation of hydrophytes. First of all, I will tell what is the characteristics of roots. Here, roots are poorly developed. Root hairs are absent in certain plants. Root caps are replaced by root pocket. The roots act as a balancing and anchoring hair organs. Leaves in many floating forms. Leaves are deposited with wax like nymphia. In submerged forms, they are reduced and thin. In emergent hydrophytes, leaves are of two types: dissected leaves in water and aerial leaves are well developed. The spongy petiole is observed in Acornia, which help in buoyancy. The leaves are dissected in Xerophyllum. Now, anatomical adaptations. Here, cuticle is absent. Epidermis is single layered, made up of thin walled parenchyma cells, so they can absorb water. Cortex is well developed, made up of parenchyma cells. There are large air spaces surrounded by parenchyma cells called the parenchyma cells. Now, I will describe the physiological adaptations. Absorptions of water and minerals take place by all the submerged body parts. Osmotic pressure in hydrophytes is very low. Transpiration does not occur in submerged species. Now I will describe about the desert adaptations or xerophytes. The plants growing in arid, dry soil where rainfall is very scanty or low and transpiration rate is very high are known as xerophytes. Xerophytic adaptation also three types: morphological adaptation, anatomical adaptations and physiological adaptation. Now I will describe the adaptation characteristics of xerophytes. Morphological adaptation of xerophytes. Root systems in the xerophytic plants is very well developed and extended as numerous branches. The roots of the perennial species grow deep into the soil. Root contains root hairs and root cap. Stems are generally small, stout and woody in nature. The stem remains covered with stem hairs, wax or thick bark. Leaves are small or scaly or modified into spines, sometimes succulent. Anatomical adaptation characteristics of xerophytes. Epidermis remain covered by thick cuticle. Sometimes deposition of lignin or wax may take place. In most cases, thick multilayered hypodermis is present. In few species, epidermis become multilayered. The stem may contain ridges and furrows in some plants. Stomata are sunken in nature. Spongy layer in leaves may be very thin or absent. Vascular bundles are well developed in and elaborate. Physiological adaptations of xerophytes. Osmotic pressure in xerophytic plant is very high for conduction of water and minerals. Transpiration rate is very low in these groups of plants. Their succulent plant body contains polysaccharides and pentosan. Some enzymes, including peroxidase and catalase, are more active in xerophytic plants. Here you can see some examples of xerophytes: Pinus, Calotropis, Ephedra, Equisetum, etc. Now I will describe about the Halophytes, which are very uncommon. Halophytes are special type of plants which grow on saline soil, can tolerate high salt concentration and waterlogging. Some examples of halophytes are Shunduri, Heritaria, forms, etc. Now I will describe the characteristics of halophytes. Number 1. Most of the plants are shrubs, some are herbs. The shrubs are profusely branched and bushy in structure. Number 2. Some plants show xerophytic characteristics like succulent stem, thick and fleshy leaves, or leaves are absent. Number 3. Large air cavities are present in the root. Number 4. Prop roots and stilt roots are generally present in halophytes. The very uncommon characteristics of halophytes is new metaphor. New metaphor are developed in most of the halophytes. Halophyte shows viviparous germination. That's a very uncommon germination. In viviparous germination, the seeds germinate while still attached to the parent plant. Adaptation of halophytes. Number 1. As they grow on soft and muddy soil flooded by water, the plants are generally short in height. Most are shrubs. Number 2. Their roots do not penetrate deep into the soil, and so prop roots or stilt roots develop to maintain balance. Number 3. As the amount of free oxygen present in the soil is very low due to presence of saline water, new metaphor comes up above the soil and collect oxygen from the air. Number 4. They do not absorb highly saline water but collect mild saline water during rain and store it in them. Number 5. In most of the species, leaves are thick, fleshy and succulent or absent to reduce transpiration. High osmotic pressure of cell shape also helps it. Number 6. Root contains large air cavities to store huge amount of oxygen. Now I will tell about the mangrove vegetation. The special type of halophytic plants growing in the littoral coastal areas are known as mangroves or mangrove vegetation. Due to viviparous germination, only one type of plants grow below and around mangrove plants. Example: Keora, Soneratia patella, Poshur, Carapa, Melocansis, etc. Now you can see some halophytic plants like Shunduri, Heritaria forms, and Gewa, Exocaria agaloca. Picture of Heritaria forms, Shunduri, and the figure of Abyssinia alba. Now it's time for homework. Today's homework says difference among the hydrophytes, halophytes and xerophytes. Please submit your homework in your respective subject-wise homework group. If you have any query, please ask your subject teacher. So dear students, I hope you all enjoyed our today's online class. Thank you for being with me. Stay home and stay safe. Take care. Allah Hafiz.